Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. Your decisions, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Well, hello there, good people. We are back. We are back. We are back for another episode with one of my faves now, to talk about what serial entrepreneurship looks like. So, welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. I have the best seat in the world, where I get to interview entrepreneurs from different areas of the sector of entrepreneurship, and those who have the courage to be able to talk about what their process looks like. Today, I have the opportunity to continue dialogue and what serial entrepreneurship looks like with Darren. Darren's back, y'all. Want to bring him back to the table? We don't really need like a major introduction. Let's just bring him back. Hey, Darren.
What's up? How you
How are
doing?
you? I see you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Good to be back. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. That's what I always say. Good to be seen. Good to be seen. So we are talking about what serial entrepreneurship looks like, and you have Glace.
Correct.
Do tell.
So Glace is my gelato cafe. It was actually birthed the same year that I opened Tax Masters. I just did it 9 months after. Glace it's my baby. It takes everything out of me. It's fun though. I'll tell you, if I may, I'll tell you a little bit about how I started Glace.
I was going to ask, so go right ahead.
I'll go right into it. So I'm a fat boy. I love food, love to eat. I'm on Farmers Blvd in Queens. There was nothing around here except halal, the deli, Chinese food, pizza, and we have a couple of Jamaican restaurants that are on the other side. But I could never find anywhere where I could have like some fresh baked cake, pies, ice cream, salads, wraps, sandwiches. Nothing like that was available in the area. And those are all the things that I love to eat. And the salad at the deli just wasn't cutting it because it was just wet and filled with white sauce. Pause. Anyway, the space next door to me had been vacant. It used to be a check cashing. And I had saw when I first got the space from the tax office, I said, I'm sure something could work here. If the tax office is successful, I might do something over there. I happened to go down to Florida that spring, and I saw a gelato shop, and the space was almost identical to the one that now occupies Glace. And I just had a mental picture in my head. And I came back up to New York, and I said, you know what? I'm going to open up a cafe. And I knew nothing about the business. And this was like in May. And then I spent about a month and a half just doing some research, getting connections, because I had never done anything in the food business. So I had to start from ground zero. I had a vision, and I took that vision. I developed my idea, made relationships, and then 2 months after I took the lease, and I was able to open the store.
Vision, work, determination, put all this stuff together for Glace.
Yeah, persistence, failure, hustle,
Research.
research, being resourceful, and patience.
So
Because
so tell me about this space, because it was formerly a check cashing place. So obviously Glace does not look like a check cashing place. What did you have to do in order to get it to what you envisioned for this business?
so I had to basically go in and gut the whole entire space. It was built. It's built like a large vault. We were encased in metal because just in case anybody were to try to break into what was formerly the check cashing, they had sheet metal, like half-inch thick sheet metal, on all four sides um, of the building, just in case anyone tried to break in from the top or any of the sides. They'd be prevented from doing that. So I had to go in there with oxyacetylene torches, torch the whole place down. I did it myself. I had to save a lot of money because I'm telling you, the cost to build a cafe, it cost me about 75 grand to do it. And if I didn't have the knowledge that I have of construction and being able to do things myself, I would have definitely been north of $150,000 to do this space.
So you did it, man.
I mean, I designed it, which came from my background, a little bit of construction. I went to school for engineering, and I was able to apply all that to building out my store.
And so, wow. So, man, you gained a lot of labor for it. It's like you are really passionate about snacking, huh? So you was like,
Yeah,
I'm all about these snacks, so I'm gonna make it work for myself.
yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, I said, you know what? At least when I'm hungry, I have somewhere to go get something to eat. If it works, which I felt like it would, this is a stepping stone. I said this before, getting my beak wet. Like, let me try this out. If you don't try, if a lot of people have a vision, say, "Oh, I want to do something," and then they never put it into action. I put things into action if I'm really passionate about it. I'm willing to take that risk. Because even if you fail, it's not a failure because you learn from the experience. And then next time you do it better.
So what are some of the things that you have that you offer besides gelato?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes. What do you offer besides gelato?
So besides gelato, we offer wings, fries, chicken and waffles, salads, wraps, smoothies, fresh baked cakes, cookies, um, empanadas, mozzarella sticks. So we have healthy options, we have dessert options, and we have the late night if you feel like having a little greasy option as well.
Like what?
Such as the wings, the french fries, the empanadas. We have a variety of flavors for the wings. We're always creating a different flavor. My favorite would probably be the Hennessy jerk, and Carolina Gold. Those are signature sauces that I developed on my own.
Are you single? Because I'm sure somebody out there gonna try to grab you, especially if you bake. They're gonna try to grab you.
Hey, we're all We're all taken at some point.
Lord have mercy. Anyway.
I filed single on my taxes.
Now y'all see why Darren is my favorite and I had to have him come back.
Filed single on my taxes.
Lord have mercy. Anyway, so with the with Glace, right? So you discovered that there was an opportunity to put something in a community that didn't exist before. So you took a huge risk. And it's now been what, 2 years, 3 years?
3 years. I did take a huge risk. I did it. I brought something to a community that doesn't exist, because you don't see cafes like this in, these demographic areas, especially the demographic area where I am. I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. I just knew that I had a vision, and I have an idea and a vision, and I was going to bring it to life. I brought it to life, and it works.
So with Glace, do you have to have, are you required to have licenses like food?
Yes. So you have to become licensed with the Department of Health. You have to also have food handlers permit in order to operate. You have to have all of it's the food business is completely different than any other business that I've pursued. Very, very tedious. You have to be in compliance with everything, because at the end of the day, it's your health. And can we pause for a minute?
Yes. And so what typically happens when you're a business owner is that you have like things happen. And so while we're waiting for Darren to come back, I am going to be sharing some information about some of the resources where you can, find resources and other information about small businesses. And so we have there are opportunities for grants that are available between $5,000 and $25,000 are available at the New York Small Business Recovery.com. That is something that is available, but also know that you absolutely must have your documentation in order to apply to a lot of these grants. For some of the grants that are available, you do have to be registered as a business. You do have to have a separate business bank account. You also have to have, EIN number. And no, you do not have to pay for an EIN number. You go on to irs.gov and to obtain your EIN number, it is free of charge, and you do not have to um, pay for those services. Also, the local chambers of commerce still have a number of different resources available, and they have ways in which you can join either as a member, but they also have free resources as well. So these are the list of the chambers of commerce that exist with the Queens, Bronx, Staten Island Chamber of Commerce. We have Manhattan, Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, and also the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have the Upstate New York Black Chamber of Commerce, which you can join. Also, with the Chamber of Commerce, they do have the US blackchambers.org. They have a certification in which you can actually plug in your information, in which you can gain more business, get more exposure, and it is of no cost to you. So, hello, friend.
Hi.
So, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the Department of Health.
Yes.
And the different requirements that are necessary in order to have a restaurant. So, yes, you have to be in compliance um, hold a bunch of different permits and licenses in order to operate, especially here in New York.
Especially here in New York. New York seems to be very special when it comes to opening up businesses. And were there any registration fees that you have to apply for when getting those your
Yes,
business in compliance?
yes, your health permits. They're not really that expensive though. I would say all my permits, everything was less than $500 to get started with the permits. That was probably that is by far the least expensive expense I had.
Now, how did you decide on what you were going to serve? So you have gelato, you have desserts. Like, was it just based upon things that you enjoyed, or did you kind of like do like a focus group to say, like, hey, try this, you're gonna put this in the shop, tell us what you think? What did you do?
So initially looking for I was looking to actually make all the gelato myself in the shop. When I started doing my floor plan, I realized that I did not have enough space to do production on site. So I started looking for someone who could do the production for me off site, and then I'd bring everything in. With doing that, I found someone who makes all the gelato for me, and we came up with all the recipes for all the gelato that I have. And the way that I came up with it was from all the candy that we all know and love, then the traditional flavors that we typically see whenever you go to any ice cream parlor, from cookies and cream to cookie dough, and then we are all well, myself and a lot of people like the alcohol, so we also do flavors with alcohol in it, such as Hennessy, Patron, Douce, things of that nature. So that's how the menu for the flavors developed. Um, so I started off just doing gelato and baked goods because I figured it was gelato, baked goods, coffee, tea, espresso, lattes, things of that nature. During the pandemic, I started adding regular food in order to survive because when everything shut down, people weren't coming outside, and I was relying primarily on all the platforms, Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, in order to keep afloat. And people wanted more than just gelato. When I first opened, I also had waffles where we were doing fresh baked waffles. You get a fresh baked waffle with gelato on top, and it was delicious. So then we started adding chicken and waffles, and then the chicken and waffles turned into wings and salads and wraps, etc. It just started growing from there.
Nice. So I like the fact that you acknowledge that you were not selling as much gelato during the height of the pandemic, but I'm sure, because it's like a comfort food. And not only that, because I've had it, it doesn't bother my stomach. So I don't know what you over there doing. It goes down nice and easy.
Well, the thing with gelato is that we use all natural products. It's hormone free, and a lot of the things that we have available to us, they're processed, and a lot of those a lot of those ingredients that they and additives that they place in those products do tend to upsets those who have who are lactose intolerant, um, and have other different allergies. So that is why, if you never experienced that, why you're comfortable digesting it.
It's good too. It's really good. So if someone wanted to like really get into the food business, like what are a couple of things that you can offer and share in terms of like how they can get started? Do they need to have a full brick and mortar in order to be able to survive or to do it? Can they do it online? What are some recommendations that you can share?
Well, now there's so many things available. People have virtual restaurants where they don't even own a restaurant. They just come up with a menu.
Mm.
And then they find a restaurant that is a brick and mortar to prepare the food for them. And then they'll be online, and you might be ordering from Anita's Wing House if you see it online, and it's only online orders only. And Anita's Wing House is really being prepared by, Roscoe's Chicken. So you know what I mean? Like, seriously, like that's one avenue if you want to do a virtual store. But to really talk about the brick and mortars, which is where it's at, what would I suggest? First and foremost, do your research. That's the first thing. You have your vision, do your research, understand your market, prepare, make sure that you have capital and or access to it. And you definitely need, if you yourself don't have strong credit, partner with someone that does, because all those things are necessary in order to not only open your business, but to keep your business running.
Mm.
Because when you first open, especially with food, you have to purchase all the raw materials, product, and you have to put out X amount of dollars before anything comes in. So you're already starting off in the hole because you built out your place, you had to buy the product, you have to have your staff, and you haven't even sold a burger yet. Seriously. And then the cost of that one burger isn't going to cover whatever all your startup costs. It's not even going to cover your operational costs.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing about the food business or the having a brick and mortar is you have to be very careful with staff, because you don't want to employ too many people or not enough. If you have too many, then you're burning your money on payroll. You're never gonna be in the black. If you don't have enough staff, if you're slow, and then all of a sudden a rush of 50 people comes into your door and you can't handle it, those people are going to turn away and you're going to lose those customers. So whether you're selling 1,000 burgers or one, your staff kind of has to be able to handle that flow. So you have to make sure that you have the capital to cover those expenses before your business starts booming, and it takes a while. Then you have your advertising costs, because it takes a lot to become noticed, especially depending on where you're located. Location does matter when it comes to the food business. If you're in a shopping center where there's a lot of customers, the customers are visiting the shopping. The customers visit the shopping area, shopping center, shopping district much more than they just travel, a strip on the avenue. And you're more likely to be seen in a shopping center or a shopping mall, but your rent is going to be higher. But these are the things that you have to think about. Okay, if I have the potential to see 300 customers a day and my rent is 4 times higher than what it would be if I saw 30 customers a day, is the juice really worth the squeeze?
Hmm.
So for me, even being where I am, I would much rather be in an area where I am in a shopping district or a shopping center, because I would get a lot more customers on a day-to-day basis. It requires so much more marketing when you're not noticed, you're not seen, people don't know where you are, they can't just drive by and pop in. especially especially being in an area where there aren't other stores that have traffic, so that you can be noticed. So that's what you pay for when you're in a strong location.
That's very interesting. So location, planning, having capital are some of the things that you recommend for someone who wants to get into your business. Are you thinking about expanding Glace to another location or to multiple location or creating a franchise out of it?
All the above. I've thought about franchising. I'm definitely thinking about multiple locations or expanding, because to keep it authentic, Glace is not generating the numbers that it has the potential to do, and a lot of it has to do with location.
Hmm.
That's why, if you notice, like, people have flagship stores. Like, you may go to, if you go to the McDonald's in Times Square is now closed down due to the pandemic, but I'll just use that as an example. A store in Times Square is seeing hundreds of thousands of people a month, versus being in a small community in Brooklyn or Queens or Long Island that might see 10,000 people a month. Your costs are higher, but it's a law of large numbers. Like, the more product you're moving in your flagship store, the more successful you're going to be, and the more people that are going to be able to recognize your brand. And obviously, we have digital marketing and things of that nature. Location is still important, though.
So that means that we need to come out and support where you are now.
Correct.
So this is where we can find you, correct?
Yes. 13810 Farmers Boulevard, Jamaica, New York. I'm right next door to my tax office.
How the heck do you manage that? Taxes, gelato. Taxes, gelato. Seasonal.
Well, I'm not a one-man army. So I definitely have found some very, very good. I have a very good staff, competent, and without a strong team, nothing will be successful, because you need people that can obviously handle the day-to-day. And putting the team together is a task in itself. And being able to understand everyone's strengths and their weaknesses, and being able to put them together so that they can play off of each other and work together in order to accomplish a goal. So it's one thing to have the idea and the vision. It's another thing to operate and manage.
But you got to have a vision. You got to have some money.
Gotta have a vision, gotta have some money. And there's always a way to do it. You can open a business with lint in your pocket. I promise you.
I feel like most of us have done it,
Definitely.
At some point.
Absolutely. I mean, to get my businesses started, I drove DoorDash. I drove DoorDash because when I had to start over from the beginning in 2019, I had to drive DoorDash. I drove DoorDash that summer to get the capital together to open up my tax office. And then after I had a successful tax season, I flipped some of the profits from that into opening up the Gelato Cafe. And then from those combined, I use that to then open up the other businesses that I have, which is in the e-commerce space.
So y'all ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuses.
There's no excuse at all. If you want to do it, there's a will, there's a way.
And sometimes there's no option.
Right. There are. Sometimes there aren't. Like if we could just get a little bit deeper into my situation. So because of my history, when I started with DoorDash, they wouldn't even hire me because of my record. And I had to find a different way to get it done in order so that I could drive DoorDash in order to earn the capital to open up my business. And now they work for me. You know what I mean?
Ain't that a testimony, y'all? So anybody who has a vision and who desires to do something differently. I started going into business, being inspired by those who are already in entrepreneurship. But when I went back to my job after having a little person, they was like, your job is done. And I'm like, oh, okay. So what am I supposed to do now? 7 years later.
Yeah. Your story in itself is another testimony.
Somebody's mama, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I was in a place where my back was against the wall because, like I said, I had unfortunately had a run-in with the law. And when I came out, there was basically no options available for me. And I knew I had to do something again in order to get back to a place where I could at least take care of myself and my family. So when you have no options, you have to figure it out. And it's very difficult to rise up from the ground, come up with an idea, put that idea into action, and then make it happen with nothing. But if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, we say that, we make that statement all the time, and if I could do it, anyone could do it. But everyone doesn't have your drive and your will and the desire to want to come out of the spaces that they sit in, and that they want to create the life that they want, and that they see themselves differently and want to, make certain sacrifices, for yourself and also for your family that you're caring for. So yeah, true. Maybe if they put in the work, because we're not talking about phantom shit. We talking about work, missing out on a lot of stuff. This is the dreams that we're building. So you gotta put in the work.
Yeah, you definitely do have to put in the work. And it's no easy task, and every day you might not want to do it. That's another thing. Like let me tell you, like I said, how Glace is my baby. Glace takes my life away from me right now. It's like, and that's just right now in the beginning. But I know that in the future, when I'll be able to cash in my chips and I won't basically just own a job. Because at the end of the day, when you're an entrepreneur, initially you own a job. And the reason why you own a job is because all your time, your blood, sweat, and tears goes into building that business, because nobody's going to put in the type of energy into your business that you will. And then once you build that machine and it gets to a point where all you have to do is put gas in it, then you can afford the right management and the business is flourishing, then you can step back and just and be an absentee owner and start doing other things. But being able to manage your money, invest, those are all the components, the taxes, all those things tie into having a successful business. Anybody can go and get an LLC today or tomorrow, or a C corporation, and say, hey, I'm going to sell t-shirts. Okay. There's so much more that goes into selling that t-shirt than just going to buy a bundle of shirts and then start selling them. And that's where most people fail. Poor planning. So when I say yeah, anybody could do it, yeah, anybody with the right mindset can do it, and that's a choice. You could choose to win, or you could either choose to do something 100%, or you can half-ass it.
Are you going to be trademarking Glace? Or have you started the process of trademarking?
I haven't started the process of trademarking Glace yet. It's it's in a I'm in a transformative state right now, where I'm really looking as to where I'm taking the company in the future. Like I said, I do have to expand. I need I need broader outreach. I'm working on turning this from an infant into a toddler, then a child, and then a grown person. That's where I am right now. Like, I know it works. I know it works. I mean, I've survived. I'm in year 3, so
In the food business.
in the food business, and it's difficult. It is difficult.
And you're doing it and inspiring many, even though they may not say that. People watching you. They watching. They watching. And we're proud of you.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Proud of you. Anyway, kids, requirements, additional opportunities, and more to come. So we are going to be supporting Darren and this gelato, which is fabulous, and all them late night snack. What are your hours?
Oh, good point. I never mentioned that. We open at 2 p.m. and we close we're open Wednesday through Sunday. We're closed Monday and Tuesday. We're open from 2 p.m. to 10 Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday through Sunday 2 p.m. to midnight.
Oh, you got some late night shenanigans going on.
Yeah, we definitely do. We used to have a little bit later hours, so our hours are subject to change, but all the updates will be available from if you Google us, or if you go to the website glacecafe.com. Our hours are always up to date, either on Google or from the website. But like I said, they are subject to change depending on the season. Obviously, when we go into the summer months, we're open later till 2 a.m. during the summer.
And COVID protocols are in play. I've been
Yes,
there. It's
COVID protocols are in play, which continue to change like underwear at this point. You know, mask here, mask, vaccinations, and we are in Queens, so the city rules apply. We will be having our outdoor dining open in the springtime as well. We built 2 outdoor dining seating areas, so they're pretty much a shell right now, but they will be ready to go in the springtime.
Do you cater?
So definitely looking forward to that. We do cater as well. Our catering menu is available on the website. We definitely have a very good variety of food. With the wings, we have Rasta pasta as well, which has been added to the menu. We have barbecue rice and chicken. Yeah, our menu is constantly being updated as I come up with new ideas. It's not too broad like a diner where you can go and have salmon and steak, and then all you know how a diner menu, you get a diner menu, it's a book. You keep flipping and you're like, wow, how do they make all this? How does it stay fresh? However, our menu is expanding.
Okay. Well, great conversation, Darren.
Appreciate you having me again.
And all this awesome. So that means you probably gonna come back after tax season, because I wouldn't dare I wouldn't dare during tax season. I would not dare.
Nah, I
Except
won't.
to do business and to get some gelato.